Hello, family. How you doing? Good evening. Good evening. Hope everything is going well with you. Welcome to our weekly workshop live. We do these trainings every Thursday. Yes, our time is still at 5 o'clock p.m. Today we're going to do some more just interactive. I'm going to give you some updates on a few things here. I have some notes here. I'm going to share with you pretty much what I've been up to, what we up to, what are some of the things we got going on for the summer. Then we're going to talk specifically today how to educate yourself, how to actually educate yourself. Self-education is the best form of education. Okay, so we're going to talk about that for our topic today. Well, by way of introduction, we always want to give greetings here. If this is your first time, do us a couple of favors. Number one, you want to make sure wherever you're watching, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or any of our channels, do like us there, follow us, subscribe to the channel or the page. Then we also would like you to bookmark strategicsecrets.com. That's where you can get all of our content, books, courses, training programs, etc., and where you can refer others as well. So please make sure you familiarize yourself. My name is Chance, U.S. Navy veteran, #1 best-selling author. I'm also a minister. And what we do here is we help professionals, entrepreneurs, and ministry leaders, or anyone who has a success-minded orientation, right? And we help you to do several things. One is we help you to monetize your skills. We help you to make a lasting impact, and we help you to be able to fund your dreams. How do we do so? By teaching you and coaching you every single week on how to take your education, expertise, or experiences and turn them into products, programs, and services online that you can indeed be able to reach and bless as many people as possible. So if that resonates with you, my friend, you are absolutely in the right place. Again, we have so many trainings that we do. You can, watch several of the replay. We don't always post every single thing on YouTube, though we are live on YouTube, but that's normally on a private link. But sometimes we do turn on most of those to actually be public because we do have some folks that pay for our content. So we want to make sure that we give them exclusive dibs on our programs. So today, again, we're going to talk briefly. Let's talk about what we got going on, give you some updates for myself, and as well as what we plan to do for the summer and how to educate yourself in this day and age. This day and age is the best time to engage in self-education, to learn absolutely anything that you are interested in, right? This is the new economy. This is the new world to be able to do just that. So again, let's delve right into it. So if you are not familiar with all the things we do here at Strategic Secrets, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. Why? Because it shows you that any average Joe or Jane can actually take what they know and be able to be a blessing to as many people as possible. That's what we want. That's what we really want to help you to do. And we believe in, we really champion that now with the power of technology, the internet, you can truly, even if you're an introvert, even if you're not a people person, but what you know can go further than just simply where you are in your local community. We want you to reach beyond and be a blessing to someone. That's absolutely why we are put on this earth, right? We are put on this earth to indeed, yes, we got to take care of ourselves and our families, but beyond that, the greater purpose, I believe, is for us to touch lives, to impact lives as best as we can, utilizing what God has already given to us. That's why you don't have to try to be somebody else. Be uniquely and authentically yourself. Utilize your own gifts, your own talents, your own education, expertise, and experiences so you can be able to leverage your talents and gifts and reach as many people. And again, what we do here is we teach entrepreneurs, professionals, and ministry leaders how to wrap those gifts and knowledge, talents, etc., into products, programs, and services so that people can consume them. Because that's how we actually touch people. If you think about it, you and I are touched. Let's say there is a musician. You and I are touched by the musician's performance. Now, if the musician wrap that performance into a CD, which is going out of style, but if they wrap it into some musical production, a live play, etc., then we're able to see it. But what happens after the live performance? Then we have to wait until the next time. And that's why people put those things now into a form of a CD or now streaming products so that you can continuously enjoy the product. And not only that, but let's say the performer is performing in for the, we are here in Texas, but if they're performing in Texas, then that means only people in Texas, furthermore, only people in that little town or city, village, wherever it is, that's the only people that can see it or interact with it. But now when we leverage technology through live streaming and so forth, now you can see. You see how that's leveraging the impact, and so many more people are blessed. That's the idea behind what every average Joe and Jane can do. The thing is, you and I see this happening on a massive scale, but we don't equate it to that in its simplicity. And of course, we believe that's one of the things we like to do here as well every week, is we break down what seems complex into its simplest form so that absolutely anyone can do so. So summer is upon us. We have quite a few things going on. Well, let me first start with home, and then we go with work, and then we go with what we're doing with Strategic Secret. So family here, we just, praise God, my wife and I just celebrated our 16th wedding anniversary. So we thank God for that. She celebrated a birthday not too long ago. So June is normally a great month for us because we have her birthday and we have our anniversary celebrated. So that's a beautiful thing. And so we just came out of that on last week. And of course, going into this weekend is Father's Day. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to be honoring dads this coming Saturday at our church, our faith community. We have two churches where we are holding the services and honoring all fathers. So I'm greatly looking forward to that. It's always a good thing every year when we do that. And of course, yes, we do honor mothers. We did that on last month. Okay, we did that on last month. So that's what's going on. Then normally we take vacations in June, but this year we're doing it in July, right? The pandemic threw everything off. We had some big plans leading up into last year, and they're kind of going into this year as well. So what we're going to do is in July, the last 2 weeks in July, we're going to be on our family vacation. So we try to record some things in advance for you guys, so you can still have some content to watch. If not, we'll do some good replay, and you can always go back in the archives and pull out stuff. See, that's another good reason why you need to be online, or you need to be having content, right? So if you are traveling or different things like that, you can still maintain connection with your tribe, with your followers, etc. So that's what we're looking forward to do. So my wife actually is also traveling this weekend. She's going to Florida, so she's been spending a week there. We initially were planning to go, but then we changed our mind. My son and I were actually going to go, and then we will go to Disney. But her purpose for going there is different, so we may not be able to enjoy it all together. So it's just like that's okay. So she's gonna go, and then when she comes back, of course, we grind it out for a little bit more, and then, like I said, vacation time. Well, another reason we chose the second week as well, because we also want to participate in the youth activity for our son at the church. They're having what they call every year Vacation Bible School. So we want him to be a part of that. So right at the end of that, it ends on Friday. So then well, since it's going to be weekend anyways, and we normally love to worship with our people, so we're just going to go on the following Monday. So that's why we are postponed. And otherwise, we would have just started at the end of this month. We would have taken the first 2 weeks of July. That's where I'm at. Also, your boy is, I'm talking on this today because I'm balanced and holistic, right? And I like to teach balance. However, there's something in me that also I like both worlds. I am in a good position. I'm in a hybrid where I can connect with the seniors, and I'm also with that in that millennial kind of range, right? So I can reach somewhat the younger as well. So that's one of the blessings and benefits. So I feel like I can speak to both camp because of, well, one, when I was born, and and just being able to, especially at church. So now I can connect with two. So, but because I'm heavily into technology and innovation and these things, I do believe that we need to advance, right? And everything is ripe for disruption. After all, that was the catalyst for starting all of this. When I did a master's in project management, my research was about that. All of these people who are pretty much, leveraging their expertise outside of the academic world, and they are making killing in many ways, way more than you can ever make on a job. So, but I like to be able to blend those, and that's why I'm saying, you know, for a couple of years there when we did that, I would think it was 2016. Our motto was, you know, everybody should get into entrepreneurship. Now I'm like, everyone should be entrepreneurial. Everyone do not have to be an entrepreneur, but everyone should be entrepreneurial. Why? Because we all got bills and we all want to be able to build wealth. And absolutely, we know that outside of a few of the traditional models of being a doctor, lawyer, engineer, dentist, those kind of main, you know, credentialed people, outside of that, the majority of the people definitely don't even make next close to 6 figures a year. And most people retire broke. It's a fact. We can fight it all we want, but most people live paycheck to paycheck. It is proven. So with that is, how can we, like others who are taking their gifts and talents, and just be able to monetize them again into products, programs, or services? And so that's what we hope that you can do by staying connected with Strategic Secrets and learning all the things and just pretty much do what we do. Because some of this, when I talk about how to educate yourself, this is how I learned some of this stuff again. And one of the principles I'm going to share in just a moment. So yes, the other piece of thing I wanted to talk about, as far as, you know, what I'm doing is I am actually pursuing another in the traditional sense. Can you believe it? Right. So I'm enrolled in a PhD program. Now you will say why? Well, several things. Let's see. A few years ago, because, you know, I don't like to learn nonsense. That's one of the things, right? I want, at this stage, I like self-learning and I like self-education, because that's what I discovered my learning skill is, my modality. A lot of people don't even know how they learn best. So I think if you figure out how you learn best, then knowledge, you can accelerate so many things that you learn. So you don't have to wait for, again, the tradition. I think nothing wrong with traditional education in and of itself. It's just that it is not practical for most people, and it is way outdated in the model, because you have people who can learn faster, but they have to go through, everybody has to come in, like, you know, it's like this stock, right? Everybody go down the assembly line, everybody come in together, everybody finish together. Well, what about the people who are gifted and can move ahead along? Or what about the people who even need more time? They don't have to finish in 4 years. They don't have to, you know. So I believe that people should learn how is best for them. And then we are charging all of this type of money, and the education is not necessarily better, right? Just like a product. Every year a product undergoes upgrade, but is the education in the traditional sense undergoing upgrade, right? Did the professors get an upgrade? No. So it's the same knowledge, same education, same information, but every year tuition goes up. And that means many people who needs and deserve an education cannot even afford it. So that's part of the problem, but it is a good solution, because now it has given rise to all these other platforms now that are way outdoing the traditional forms of education. So education is important, but not necessarily in the traditional sense only, because that was the only model that everybody had. So, and again, I believe I'm qualified to speak on this, because again, I'm in both hybrids, right? I got academic credentials behind my name. So, you know, but I would tell you, I will be the first to tell you, based on my research, based on my skills and all of that, what I've discovered in the past few years is that that is not the best way, at least in the way in which it's being done. Right? That's not the best way at all today, except for a very few. Again, if you want to become a teacher, if you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, those are pretty much set, right? I don't see that paradigm or that shifting anytime soon, because the powers that be are so great with those. But everything else is up for grabs. Everything else is, you don't need the traditional sense for everything else, I would say. Computers, any form of whatever career fields, it's all open pretty much to learn in a different way that's more affordable, and for me, faster, because I like speed. So that's what my journey is. So last few years ago, like I said, I was at Harrison-Middleton University in a doctoral program there. Loved it, because one of the things is you from the beginning get to set up your own study with, of course, academic advisors. So it's not, but it's still, you pick from their thing, but you choose what you want to study. And so that was great because at that time, I was studying about the mind and habits, right? And how people, especially from a faith-based perspective, are not experiencing victories in their life. And we kind of blame God when the fact of the matter is, what I discovered, or my hypothesis basically, is that people are dealing with mental issues. And that's the reason why they're not growing. And that's the reason why they're not overcoming. And so that's where habits are formed. And so that's why, if you notice too, even for the past few years, I've been putting a lot of emphasis on mental and emotional wellness, because that plays a big part and it affects our spirituality as well. So that was going great. But again, so that was something that I love, I wanted to do, but then I stopped it because the textbooks I didn't like. Okay, and I hope I'm not here bashing HMU. I love your school. I think it's great for many people, and it definitely is affordable, and so I recommend it. But the books are too dry for me. Right? It's hard to read them. It's just tough reading them. It's very, very boring, very, very dry. And so at this season of my life, I don't think I want to keep doing that. So I switched and I went to Columbia International, very prestigious university, and they're very strong spiritually. So I was accepted into the doctoral program for organizational leadership, PhD. Then with that too, COVID hit. That's when COVID hit. But it's the reason I chose that one too is because it was short. It was only 27-month program, and pretty much by April next year I would have been done with it. So now I look back, I'm like, I probably should have gone through and did it. But I love that because again, it was leadership based, and then you get to do the dissertation sooner. It didn't have a lot of coursework because again, I've done all of those things all the way up to doctoral level before. So I don't want to do a lot of the studying of other subjects, right? Or coursework, I should say. You don't want to do a lot of coursework before you get to the dissertation. So that was a plus. So I think there were only I don't think there were more than 3 to 4 classes roughly that you had to take. Then the rest of it was dissertation. So that's fine because I love the writing aspect, right? So the dissertation, I know by God's grace I can get through easily. So yeah, so after a year passed by with that, I just say, well, you know what, forget it. So now that COVID has passed, and I was, I shared some things on a preacher sermon not too long ago, and then I shared with you guys, I think week or two before, on a topic, and it hit me. So I went back to my email and I was just looking through some of the things that are unfinished. And then I look back on, man, this acceptance, that acceptance. I'm like, man, I could have been done with this program. So I said, you know what, let me challenge myself again, and let me go ahead and go back to Columbia International. So I was going to start the same program that I had been accepted for. But then I looked at, I was just looking through the doctoral programs again, and I don't know how I didn't see this the first time, but they had one in intercultural studies, and all I have to do is dissertation. I said, praise God, no coursework. I can just start from day one, jumping directly into the dissertation. Well, the first part, of course, they're gonna give you something about how to write the dissertation and stuff like that. So that's understood. But I don't look at that as a coursework, right? Coursework means like, if you're having a bachelor's in business administration or something, there are these courses, and then at the end is when you do your capstone or your thesis or your dissertation, depending on which level you are. So that's what we're saying. I don't want to do all that bulk. So that's what attracted me. And then it's only 48 hours. And again, most of that is just pure dissertation. So I said, hold on. And so I called up the dean there, and I spoke with him on the phone, and he's like, yeah, just submit your stuff. And so I did. And, in no time, I was able to get notification from them that you accepted. So I am, putting my foot to the fire for this one, and I'm jumping head in, and I'll be starting actually this August. So July vacation, August, I'm beginning this journey. But the reason I also wanted to do that, because when I left our mission group, actually, I sort of kind of made a covenant or promise in my mind that if I ever had the opportunity, I would write about the work of that nonprofit, and to share it with the world, because I believe that the work that we did was so powerful, and that, you know, it deserves to be out there. So when I was at HMU, actually, I had already, because you had to, like I said, design the entire program. And so when I designed my closing work, I decided that I'm going to write about that, the mission group that I was, and its contribution to our world church and the pretty much the world, because they do a lot of work in Africa. So that's what now I am going to still do, but at least I believe now I can speed it up. So I already have in my mind exactly what I'm going to write about. Pretty much, again, the contribution of the NAPS mission group to not only the Adventist Church, but also to youth leadership and youth empowerment around the world, primarily in Southern Africa, Southern African regions. Already, so that's where I am at the moment. Yes, so it's going to cost some money. Yes, so might be sending you guys some donation letters to help out on that. I'm just kidding, but you never know, because I get all these kind of weird ideas, right? Which implementation, you got to try something, you never know what'll work. So yeah, that's basically it. I am still learning. I learn all the time, and what I learn, I implement, right? So I'm pretty much doing even 2 programs at the moment too. I'm finishing up something in a doctorate in Christian entrepreneurship as well. So I am finishing the dissertation on that as I speak. I'm working on that, and then I have three more courses to do. 2.5, because one I have to take my finals, which I'm going to do tomorrow, and then I will do the the last 2 courses. I already have some preview and seeing how they go. I kind of, like I said, this is how I learn. I'll show you how I think. So when I do get in the course, I already got an idea of what it's going to all be about. So I've already been delving through. I've ordered all the textbook beforehand. You see, that's another thing, right? That's how you can be smart. So let's get into it. How can you educate yourself, right? So I'll start with that right there. First of all, you must know yourself, and you yourself must decide what it is that is important to you. And I tell people that, especially even if you go the traditional academic route, beyond the master's degree, you should study what it is that you truly want to study, right? For example, here's what I mean. Like, for example, let's start with my own field, right, which is the faith-based field. Most ministers go through a program of theology, undergraduate level, and then same thing at the master's level, which generally you call it MDiv, right, a Master's of Divinity. And that's a 90-hour program. So, and then they go get a doctorate, which is a DMin, which is still related to the same. So my advice to them, I normally say, listen, because the MDiv is your professional degree, right? So if you have, let's say, business, it will be a master's in business administration, and that's like a culminating degree, as it were, for your field. Now, beyond that, I would recommend that if you, let's say you want business and it's just business admin, specialize in something beyond that, right? So you want to do maybe entrepreneurship or technology or even law or something like that. So I tell the ministerial ones, because church is more than preaching, and you don't need undergrad, masters, and doctorate just to preach. Like, the congregations are not looking for more and more of that. What they're looking for is leadership, guidance, help in other areas. So you should specialize in something complementary, but what you are passionate about. In other words, maybe you can do something in marriage and family therapy. Maybe you can do public health, right? If you are into health, if you are into business, get your doctorate in business, or entrepreneurship, management, leadership, which a lot of them are doing actually, which is good. But still, I find leadership is so vague now and easy. Well, I guess we all want something easy too, but I think that's why they're getting it, because it's just it's kind of easy. But to me, even leadership is, hopefully the curriculum can be expanded, because it's kind of just, you want to go beyond the church world, right? You don't want to just simply only do, all church activities, right? Because here's the thing, when you lead a church, you're dealing with finances. So that's what I'm saying. Knowing something about business is important. I find actually that's more important. That's actually what has helped me actually in churches, because, most of my training academically is in the business field, right? My undergrad is in business and management, master's in project management, which is primarily business courses. So that has helped me, I would say, more than learning theology or learning preaching, because really and truly, that's the problem. You got a lot of drama every single week, right? Right now, we are planning something for the summer as well, a back to school outreach that is many components. And so that's project management right there. Matter of fact, the person we put in charge is a project manager. See, so that's what we're saying. It's not just simply about preaching and Greek and Hebrew, right? So if that's your thing, if you want to teach academically, then yes, now beyond that, you specialize in biblical studies, you can specialize in theology, you can specialize in, whatever language, just so you want to, so if you're going to become a university professor, then by all means, that's what you want to do, or get a PhD beyond the, your MDiv. So think of that, right? So that's what I'm saying. For me, let's say for now, let's take that the traditional route, right? So I chose intercultural studies because my whole thing for the past several, I would say 14 years plus I've been in ministry, has been international and intercultural work. And so when I look at, again, what I'm trying to write about or try to bring the work of NAPS before the world, this is perfect for me because, one, when you think about it, I have, NAPS is global, right? And so we are dealing with cultures there for one. And the idea here is it's not just simply going to be a church thing only, right? Or faith-based only, because there are companies that need people with understanding of intercultural stuff, because now you can be, for example, you can head up a department in another country for a business, a company, as it were. So that's what we are saying. So choose something you like, that you love, that you want to delve deeper into. And so if it's traditional, still do that. But I'm saying study what you know that this is in line with your gifts, your talents, how God has wired you. Not be forced into it because somebody else wants you to study it, your mother, your father, your brothers. Now, those are good counsel, but sometimes, again, people counsel you into things that they wish they could have done, or that is good for them, or simply because of the money. Now, that does have some impact or weight on what you choose to do. But at the same time, I'm like, we all know the stories that it's not just simply about making money. There are many people who are miserable in fields that they don't like because they thought that that's what they wanted to be. But my point is that, you want to be holistic and you want to be grounded and balanced and be enjoying life from multiple dimensions. Because if you have, a good job, good paid job, you don't have time with your family, you don't have time with your kids, you don't enjoy your marriage, your health sucks, all of these things, what good is having that job? Because you see, that's the job that's killing you, right? That's the job that's making you sick and stressed and actually, frankly, hating life, because you work in a 9 to 5 you don't love, and you really, you don't like it, but you have to do it because you've built up your life around it and you have all these bills and debt. And so therefore, you just keep going through the motions. So that's not a recipe for a good life, right? You want to do the thing that is passionate to you, that God has gifted you. And so here are some other ways. So again, traditional route is the easiest route. So you go, for example, what I mean is you go into a college or university and you study the thing that is related to the field that you want to get into, right? That's the easiest path per se, especially if you want to have a job. But for other ways, and even complementary to that, because like I said, I do both traditional and non-traditional. Now, the non-traditional to me is actually the best, okay? I would say that at this season, based on what I know, my journey, okay, in both worlds, I would say that the fastest and best way to educate yourself today is outside the university context. Why? Because university is slow, it's rigid, and you have to go through this way, right? And not only that, but the material is obsolete generally by the time you're finished, because it takes 4 or 5 years, and 4 or 5 years things change. Things are changing even on a month-to-month basis. So I would say you want to find online platforms where you can learn. Udemy, Skillshare, all of these different places, right? Where, Teachable, Zenla, all of these are places where you can now go and learn whatever it is that you want. YouTube is the biggest, also one of the biggest education platform, right? So you go there, and again, you type in how to, whatever it is that you want to learn about. And trust me, there's a wealth of knowledge. We have knowledge at our fingertips faster than ever before. So what we need to do is utilize technology to our benefit rather than have it control us. So in other words, when we say you have a smart device, indeed, they're smart. So, but we leverage in their knowledge. So for example, even my son, which again we have to be careful as well, but I understand that. But even him, I teach him, for example, when he keeps asking me over and over something, I say, well, here's how you can find information, right? So he knows he can go type in YouTube, he can type in Google, but also Alexa. I say, ask Alexa, and Alexa will tell you. And so now you are now leveraging Alexa, leveraging these tools that we haven't paid for. Why just have it sit down there? So it's not just simply for entertainment. It is for you being able to learn. So while I'm working, for example, I can say, Alexa, play this, right, audiobook, and I'm getting through audiobook, and so I have to listen to it a couple of times because I'm working, and so maybe all the information is not getting in, but at the same time, much of it is still getting in. Or if I listen it over and over again, then it gets in. But I can be finished with several books that way. You can be working out and learning at the same time. So that's one way. Reading books, right? So you want to read a lot of books. Books contain all the knowledge, right? Because if you think about it, every class is a textbook. And so with all these textbooks, guess what? You have knowledge at your fingertip. And many of these books now on Kindle, etc., ebooks are very cheap. Most of the books are like 99 cents. Matter of fact, on Kindle, they generally don't have you list any book over $9, right? Because I do publishing there as well. So it's generally 99 cents to $9.99. So you can have almost any knowledge that you want for less than $10. Can you imagine that? And again, think of it as textbook. So that's another way. What I tell my friends from Africa and different parts of the world who want to have Western education, I generally tell them to go and find the syllabus of whatever course it is that they want to learn and go buy those textbooks and learn the information themselves. Because if you can read and understand and apply, then guess what, right? You really don't need a professor, because the professor is just testing you to make sure that you read the information, but you were the one actually doing the reading and studying. So do it on your own. So that's another way. Like I said, I preview courses so I can see or get an idea of what they're all about. Because again, there's some courses that I can get through very fast, and there's some others I need to take my time on. But if I get through a course very quickly and I know what the next one is going to be, like I said, where is it? Right down here, and right here on my bookshelf, I have two textbooks that are related to another course. But I've already gone, I took about a week, two maybe, and I've already gone through the entire textbooks for this one. And then I ordered another book that is a complement to it. And those are all the textbooks that are going to be for the next course. But I've already gone through it, so I've familiarized myself, and I kind of get a gist of what this course is going to be about, what it's going to be teaching, and that's a jump start. So now when I do enroll in it, I can finish the course fast. Why? Because, right, there's nothing that said you can't. I mean, they have all the syllabus is, the syllabi is all on the internet, and you can download the PDF of each and every one of them. So if you don't have the money to pay for tuition, then buy the textbook, because the textbook are generally way cheaper. Okay. And then when you do, if you've gone through the material now, then when you do have the money, if you want to go get credits for it, then you can go get the credits for it, right? But there's nothing that says because the school awarded you credit or did not award you credit, or professor did not certify that you read this book, that you don't have the knowledge, right? Do you see what we are saying now? That's how you find, especially in technology, that they are more innovative and more accepting, because if you buy a book on Python or something, or data mining or something, some programming language, right? So if you buy something and like that, and you teach yourself and you become proficient at it, you can go to any one of these companies and they will hire you, because they actually rather, it seems to be, they more prefer people who are self-learners, self-taught, than people who have gone through the academic route, because academic thinking is generally linear thinking. It's not creative, innovative thinking for the most part. Of course, there are always exceptions, but in general, academics are more linear thinkers, told what to do it this way. It always has to be by the textbook. Whereas people who are self-learners, self-starters, these are the people who generally are more innovative and bring fresh things to the table, right? So you need both. Don't get me wrong, because especially folks who like I said, if you are an accountant, I want you to be indeed linear thinking. I want you to be. It's all about the numbers. That's fine, okay? But that type of attitude won't get you, because far for say, if you are trying to scale your business when you're not taking the risk, or you just only make decision based exactly on what you have. You see, that's the type of balance we need to bring to the table. So teach yourself, man. Go through again Facebook, YouTube, all of the education platforms. Matter of fact, just type in online learning platforms, right? Subscribe, man. To us right here. We have ambassadors. You can become an ambassador. We can help you to learn different things. Like I said, I have learned more honestly outside of the classroom than I have inside of the classroom, right? And without the job, I want to ask some people this: if you didn't have your job, or without your academics, can you make any money? Because we don't know how to make it. See, school doesn't teach you those type of skills, generally speaking. But those are things I've learned, right? I've learned how to do funnels. I've learned how to publish. I have so many different skills, right? How to pretty much even develop websites. You know what I mean? It's not the number one thing I do, but I can, like I said, because you know how to build funnels, you pretty much know how to build a website. But those are skills. I can run a Facebook advertisement. I didn't have to go through a class in the traditional sense for that, or to go take a course. I have to learn those things. Now, I did buy courses from other people, but again, these are experts who are actually doing it. And so not only that, but I can leverage other people's knowledge through coaching and expertise. So another way of learning fast is by being coached. But actually, that is faster, especially when you want to learn is tangible skill right away. So if you want to lose weight on your own, you got to muster up so much motivation, stay committed, all of that, and it can be draining for most people. But if you get a coach now who will guide you through the process, it becomes much easier. So get a coach, learn from books, a lot of audio books. Again, you can listen faster than you can actually read. I recommend both. But again, I can get through a book on Alexa in a few hours, rather than simply if I have to spend days or weeks poring over the same book trying to read it. Okay. So observation is another way of learning, right? Observation. That's what scientists discover things through observation. So you want to observe, what are people doing consistently to produce the results, like analyze them. So you look at people, some people are successful and they don't know why or how. But if you pay attention to how they do things, right, and look closely, take notes, then you will discover the gifts and talents. That's pretty much what I discovered about online, because it was through observation. I'm looking at these people, regular people, average Joes and Janes, making 6 and 7 figures. And I'm like, hold on. These people are not going through the regular academic routes. These people are very simple, everyday men and women, even boys and girls, and they are making a killing. How is it possible? Then I begin to analyze. I'm like, oh, okay, one common thing among all of them, they are online. Okay. Another common thing that I noticed was they're all doing something related to their passions. Oh, another thing, as I keep drilling, I'm discovering the secret. So I figure, oh, they all have books, or they all have courses, or they all have coaching programs. And if they have coaching program, it's generally based on their books. See, that's why I saw the books being the thing. Then I say, okay, all these people who are famous, what do they have in common? I'm looking at all the key people we love, the Zig Ziglars, the Tony Robbins, the Les Browns, and Eric Thomases, and so forth. I'm like, all of them have books, all of them have courses, all of them have workshops. That's the way they are making money. So now I need to figure out how to create books, how to create courses, because these are the tools that they have. It's not just simply because they are nice people. They have products, programs, and services. And that's how I was impacted by them. Oh, I was impacted by Les Brown because I read his book. I was impacted by so-and-so because I went to their seminar. I was impacted by so-and-so because I'm consuming a product, program, or service of theirs. Voila, that's it. So for professionals and entrepreneurs to be able to make a lasting impact, fund their dreams, sustain their missions, message or cause, they need to monetize their skills. How do they monetize their skills? They monetize their skills by taking their education, expertise, and experiences and turning them into products and products, programs, and services so they can deliver them online primarily. See how I came to that conclusion? Through observation, right? And then I did my study. Of course, I did my study. That's what I'm saying. My whole master's thing a while ago was based on that. I said, oh man, it's been there all along. So that's really what you got to do. You got to observe and then you try or implement, right? Because you have to now fine tune it. It might work this way for them, but you might discover a shortcut or a better way. But you have to implement, because again, that's the problem with most academic or traditional way. It's a lot of theory. It's not practical. And so many people learn theory, but they have not gained practical experience. And that's why we say, yes, for the physicians, they acquire a whole bunch of theory, but then they go on to do what? They go on to do their practice, right? So when they get that practice in, they become proficient, right? You don't want a dentist who simply knows a lot about dentistry. You want a dentist who have practice, okay? And so that's why they go through a lot of that. That's why we pay them big money, right? But you don't pay, notice, you don't pay most of the people who just have theoretical knowledge. You pay the people who have mostly practical knowledge. And that's the difference. And so learn a skill by doing it, by trying it, by observing, reading, studying, watching, but on your own. You don't have to wait. Everything you need to know, type into Google, how to. You have financial issues, how to XYZ, how to deal with mortgage, how to. I need to get a scholarship, how to apply for scholarship, the best scholarship, right? Even here, I was looking at PhD scholarships, right? Christian PhD scholarships. And so there you go. And you begin to do your own research. And now you will uncover truth, and knowledge will come to you that you can now use to be a blessing. All right. So I hope that helped you, right? We talked a lot today. We did talk a lot today because I'm giving you, we are family here. I want to give you some updates. So let me know, right? Let me know, send us an email. What are some of the ways that you learn best? What has been your experience? And again, hopefully no one is offended when I talk about academics in this way. I'm saying everything is undergoing a reform and transformation, right? Every industry, right? Even the church, faith-based, is all undergoing transformation. Every industry is being disrupted. The food industry has been disrupted. The taxi business has been disrupted. You have the hotel industry, right? Right? So we talk about that. So taxi, Uber, pretty much upheaved all of that, right? Even the electrical company is going through that disruption as well. So technology help us with all of that, right? People are using solar more and more. People are going to digital currency. Look at it, even that. They think about that. Even our regular money, paper money, is actually going through a disruption as well, because even though they're trying to suppress it, but everyone knows at some point digital is going to take over. We can fight it all we want, but it has to be, because everyone wants to democratize the economy. Everyone wants to make it simpler to purchase, simpler to do business. And actually, it must be this way. And really and truly, tell you the truth, one of the reasons why it's being fought, because the people who started it were not the traditional or the government people. If the government had had the monopoly on there and the lead first, then of course it would have already been there. What they're trying to do is position themselves. You see what I'm saying? If you notice how they play, they are now getting themselves, because now you see more banks getting into buying crypto and digital currency and so forth. So they have to position themselves before they make the rules, right? That favors them. See? So, but they are getting on the end. So you and I, again, we talk about the wise foresee what is coming and you get ahead of the curve. So again, that's where we see it. Everything is undergoing disruption. So schools are undergoing disruption. COVID taught us that. Everybody went to online learning or some form of hybrid. Now we are realizing that, again, the whole education stuff is ripe and been for such a long time. Because again, most things, people don't need to be wasting time and money, so much money, to gain this basic knowledge that is obsolete by the time they graduate. And also that is not even preparing them for this new world of technological advances. So therefore, these papers, most of them are worthless. Now, it makes you feel good and proud when, people say you're this, you're that, and they call all the letters behind your name. So, and that's another reason you don't see us using those things right there. We don't want to put a barrier, and not only that, but they don't really mean anything in the grand scheme. At the end of the day, people want to know, do you have the requisite skill to do whatever it is that you're saying that you're able to do? That's all that there is, right? What I do even at my job, the skill is self-evident. What I do outside, Same thing here. It is self-evident. I don't have to prove it. It's there. It's already proven. I have 13 books. Do I need to prove myself to be an author? I am an author. Whether you think so, because I have 13 books, right? Who are you to teach? Well, I have 6 online courses. Who am I not to teach, right? I teach at a university online. 2 universities I've taught for online now. And now I just finished a semester at another one, right? So why not? Because those students, they never saw me physically. I never saw them physically, but I was able to impart knowledge onto them. Technology, technology. And they learn differently too. And that was my so the same hybrid I bring into the classroom, because what I told those students that this textbook, you're going to read it, yes, but we never one day in the class itself open the textbook. Never once. I don't teach from the textbook at all. What I teach it for my regular academics, because I understand these people, they're just coming there thinking the grade. I said, don't worry about the grades. You will do well, but you got to pay attention in class, and we're going to learn. So we do teach them now, and I require them to read a book because the school requires them to read a book. But what they do here is practical. It's all practical. So if the textbook has some practical stuff, then yeah. So I have them read that for theory, but everything I teach them is all practical. So we never even once open the textbook at all for the whole semester. That's just how I feel. And so I hope you are blessed by that. But again, there's opportunities all around, especially if you don't have the funds. Go out there, download some syllabus, right? And go ahead and buy those books, read them yourself, study them yourself, but then most importantly, practice. If you have the money, hey, hire a coach, hire expert, hire a consultant, hire someone who can get it done faster for you, because time, we all don't have a whole bunch. And then by all means, when you have tried, you will now develop your own skill. That's where you can now become a teacher, because we say you can teach either from your education. If you have the credentials, good. If you don't have it, no problem. What do you have expertise in something, or have you experienced something? If you have experience becoming debt-free, you can teach others how to be debt-free. If you went through divorce, you can teach others how to go through a divorce. If you have lost weight, you can teach anybody how to lose weight. You don't need no one certifying you to do those things. See, this is the new world we live in, which is powerful. So you better take advantage of it now. Alrighty, that's our talk for today on how to educate yourself using different strategies and skills. Tell me what you're planning to do with your life this summer. What's new in your life? And share it. Send an email, chance@strategicsecrets.com, or in the comments, and we'll be able to touch base with you. That's all for this week, my friends. Enjoy the weekend. And listen, remember to follow us, strategicsecrets.com. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Next, if you have not purchased a product recently, please make sure you go to our website, strategicsecrets.com. We have books, courses, and coaching programs that will be a blessing to you. If you want to become a subscriber where your education can take on a whole new level, like your Netflix, what you want to do is go to strategicsecrets.com/ambassadors. The link is right below here or somewhere on this page if you will check it out. And that way you can keep learning every single month. This weekend is Father's Day. Get a gift from our store for fathers as well. God bless you. Take care. I will see you on next week at 5 p.m.